So welcome everybody to this latest video on 162 Maths, and in this video we'll be going over a quick topic test with a collection of some GCSE exam style questions on quadratics at foundation level. Now a copy of the questions for you to have an attempt at before watching through this video is available for you to download by clicking on the link in the description, which I strongly recommend you do to see how much understanding you have on this topic. Now it's worth mentioning that these questions that we're about to cover are designed to be on a calculator paper. However, in most cases a calculator is not going to be needed, so it could easily appear on a non-calculator paper. So let's get started on question 1. So question 1 is just asking us to expand these double brackets. So again, depending on whether you use the grid method or the loop method, or you can just do it mentally, it doesn't really matter as long as you get it correct. So here x times x is x squared, and then minus 8x, and then minus 7x, and then positive 56. Now, unless you've done it correctly, that would get you 1 mark with the inclusion of 1 possible error. And then all we then need to do is just combine these two terms together. So we get x squared minus 15x plus 56. Then moving on to question 2, this is a difference of 2 squares. So this is a dots question. And so for this, we've got, what do we need to multiply it? To get x squared is x, and 169 is 13 squared. One's a plus, one's a minus in any order. And then with question 3, we want to factorize this. So we want two numbers that multiply together to give you positive 20 and added together give you minus 21. So the two possible numbers you can think of are going to be 20 and 1. So let's just write those numbers in. And then looking at the signs, this is a sign of the bigger number, so we're going to have minus 20. And if this sign is a positive, it means the signs are going to be the same. So we've got minus 20 and minus 1, so x minus 20, x minus 1. Then moving on to question 4, which looks at indices. So again, when we're multiplying, we add the powers when the bases are the same. So that's going to be a to the power of 27 plus 3, which is 30. Then when we're dividing, we take away the powers, so it's going to be a to the power of 27 take away 3, which is 24. And then when we've got brackets, we multiply the powers, so it's going to be a to the power of 9 times 3, which is 27, and b to the power of 2 times 3, which is 6. And just make sure the powers look like powers, not integers. Moving on to question 5, it says given that y equals f of x and f of x equals 3 minus x squared, find y when x equals a half. So for this, what we need to do is just rearrange to make y equals 3 minus x rather, squared. And what we want to do is want to substitute x equals a half. So y equals, and it's going to be bracket 3 minus a half squared. So that's going to be y equals 2.5 squared. And if I reach for my calculator to work that out, 2.5 times 2.5 equals, and that gives me an answer of 6.25. Now, if this was on a non-calculator paper, then I should be able to recognize that 2.5 is 5 over 2, and 5 over 2 squared is 25 over 4, which is the same answer. So any of those in fraction form or decimal form would be absolutely fine. Moving on to question 6, it says here is a number machine. Write an operation in each box to make the number machine work. So what we want to do here is get n by itself. So we need to add 5 and then we multiply by 2, and that should give us the n product of 2n. Then with question 7, it says a formula to find the size of an interior angle L of a regular polygon is that formula where n is the number of sides of a regular polygon. So the question is asking us to find the interior angle of a regular polygon with 24 sides. So this is when n equals 24. So what I'm going to have is 180 bracket 24 minus 2 all divided by 24, which is 180 times 22 divided by 24. Now I could either put any of those in my calculator to give me the correct answer. So if I just type that into my calculator, I get a correct answer of 165 degrees. Then moving on to question 8, it says make h the subject. So what we want to do first is get rid of the square root. So I do that by squaring, so that's going to be g squared. And then all I need to do is get rid of this plus 5. So h equals g squared plus 5. So h equals g squared plus 5. And then moving on to our final question, which is question 9. It says to get the expression of each brick, add together the two expressions directly below it. Show that the top box in the algebra pyramid is a and then 3a plus 5. So let's start off by working out this bottom brick. So if I've got 2a squared and I want 2a squared, so then the only thing I need is this 3a, so that this block here must be 3a. And if I add the two bottom right hand side bricks together, I get a squared, and then 3a minus 1 is plus 2a. And then for the top brick, I've got 2a squared plus 1a squared, which is 3a squared plus 5a. And then from this, I can then factorize. So 3a squared plus 5a is going to be a, and then I've got 3a plus 5, which is what they want me to show. Or alternately, you could expand a plus 3a plus 5 to give me 3a squared plus 5a, which is our top brick. So any of those two would be absolutely fine.